Bells and Belts, your world champions are back with you all on a Tuesday at an earlier time, no less, with some more awesomeness from Bells and Belts. I got my fellow world champions, Man Up and Joey, here with me. Gentlemen, good evening to you all.
Good evening. Good evening. How you feeling?
Man, look here. As soon as the intro hit, I was like I just had this feeling like I'm forgetting that I didn't do something. So I'm doing it right now in the midst of talking whatnot. So we're gonna in the meantime, I want to remind you, Man Up, that we are 93 days into the amazing title reign of Dominic Mysterio. The match is official for SummerSlam. Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to it. He's finally medically cleared, so I'm excited. I'm excited. Aren't you excited, Man Up? I mean, this is Dominic Mysterio. This is Dominic Mysterio, for goodness sake. I mean, come on now. Man Up, don't let me down, sir. I mean, come on.
Okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this here. What was that match? I think it was with Penta or whatever it was at WrestleMania. I'm still gonna say that was a good match. I think that was Penta or whoever it was. Okay, that was a good match between him.
That 4-way. And also, Joey, we're 24 days into the title reign of Solo Sikoa. I mean, I hate you, Joey. You gonna no sell me, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't even watch that nonsense anyway. So,
but Solo's your boy though. So I'm heartbroken, Joy. I'm heartbroken. You're gonna know something this evening. But
absolutely,
I know you're not gonna know something tonight or our awesome guest tonight. I know you're not.
Absolutely not. No. So let's go ahead and get into that.
Yep. And we have her on the show, ladies and gentlemen. We have the legend herself.
For the punch out intro. Oh my God. I was like,
yeah.
80s kids right here. And how do you guys know Sal, the greatest intercontinental champion of all time, Dominic Mysterio? Come on. Smash, the mullet man.
Yeah. He recognizes heat. She's this LuFisto we're talking about. She recognizes the heat. So we're like, and he's got it. So
well, like I said before, he don't have this.
Oh yeah, he would. Let me go ahead and put you over real quick, LuFisto. I'm reading from the book, an Encyclopedia of Women's Wrestling. If you don't have this, get it in your collection. If there's a badass requirement necessary in order to truly make it as a professional wrestler, whether LuFisto has fulfilled said requirement about 100 times over. LuFisto, welcome to Bells and Belts, and we thank you for the time.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Oh boy! As soon as we heard that you was coming on, it's like, oh, there is so many layers that we really need to just jump into it, Joey. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, yes.
So we got to start off by going way back in time because we're all in the same age group here. We're all middle aged. Not to date you, LuFisto.
Oh no, I agree. 45 going to 75, man.
Yeah,
that's what my niece says at least.
Yes.
Going all the way back to, well, first off, let's go back even before you got to training. What's your first memory of seeing professional wrestling as a fan?
Yes.
Oh, it's like very young. It was watching it with my grandma. She loved professional wrestling and she loved Edouard Carpentier, all the flips. And, he was very athletic. She loves also Andre the Giant. That was like before WWF. that's like the earliest memories I have. Although like I was looking at the TV, but I was so young that I don't have any recollection of it. But I like besides a few images, but these are like my very first like wrestling memories.
I know like one of my first times like watching Canadian wrestling was Lucha International.
Yes. Yeah. International Wrestling, Lucha International, indeed. Oh wow, the original championship.
Exactly. So yeah, I need to clean it, but yeah, the international championship, international wrestling out of Montreal. So yeah, no, I used to, that was one of the channels I got on the CBC showed in Detroit. So I was blessed to be able to watch some of those guys. Dan Crofad, Great Samu when he was there, Eddie the Brain Creechman. So yeah,
of course.
Yeah. No Rougeau, Cedric. Come on.
Well, lots of Rougeaus, lots of Rougeau's brothers, the father, the uncle.
Yeah, this whole family was
all of them.
whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So then, as when you started becoming a fan and watching it and understanding it more, who were your early favorites to watch?
Like I really fell in love when I first saw like The Undertaker. Like I was playing in a band and my drummer was like, "You got to see this guy. He's building caskets. He's gonna put that Japanese guy into it." Talking about Yokozuna, and I started watching with him, and I never looked back. I was obsessed with The Undertaker. Like living in Canada, we could not get we would get like Monday Night Raw, but on TSN at midnight on Monday. It wasn't live. Like we would have it like a few hours later. So I had to watch it the next day because it was too early. I had to go to school. And there was also like Maple Leaf Wrestling. It was the Superstar kind of version, the Canadian version of Superstar. So I would watch that, and I had to, if I wanted to see the pay-per-views, I had to buy the Coliseum on videos. I had to order those.
Yes.
You could not see the pay-per-views, or it was not like a thing until I believe maybe 95, 96. So when The Undertaker lost, I kind of learned it the following Raw. And then I had to wait to order I was going to the, oh my God, no, these were VHS. Same thing happened when he came back and he was facing the other Undertaker. I had to wait to see the match and order SummerSlam 94. And I would order stuff from the WWF magazine, so I had t-shirts.
Sure, absolutely.
Like I had all this stuff.
Yes,
I love it too.
I love it.
I wish I would have kept that Intercontinental belt that I ordered from WWE magazine. That
I wish I had kept the stuff too. Yeah. I have no idea where's that urn or those t-shirts. Or I moved to Montreal to study, and my mom's like a cleaning freak, so she probably is like, "Oh, she's not using this anymore."
Whoops!
Someone somewhere has vintage Undertaker t-shirt.
Now you could get rich selling that stuff. If it was
I know.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Goddamn.
I know, right? Yeah. Jesus. So at what age did you discover indie wrestling? Because I know you trained at a young age.
I started training. I was 17 years old, and I pretty much discovered, indie wrestling, I would say just a little bit before. There's a school that opened up in my hometown. There was a promotion in the city of Drummondville that my friends were really. I got close to some guys that were big wrestling fans that would travel to the Montreal Forum to see live WWF, and so there's other wrestling. I'm like, what do you mean other wrestling?
Right.
So we would go to that place, that city called Drummondville, and the fans were like nuts. They would put together, like we called it the mix. They would piss in a cup, put like cigarette butts, spit, and would throw that on the heels, and some of them would go underneath. I'm sorry, he's like,
that's heat, brother.
They would go under the ring to puke. It was so nasty, and we loved. There was a team that was called the Prisoners, big guys like prison guys, and my buddy Jocelyn was so good at making signs. He's actually the guy that you see at Survivor Series, the one that Bret Hart gets through. There's like a sign that became famous of DX with the Canadian like leaf on their crotches. He made that. Like he drew that sign.
Wow.
So you would have like awesome signs of the prisoners, but the fans, like I said, were crazy. So since we were cheering for the heels, they were like turning around, like, oh, we're in deep shit. So we would leave before the show end. And it's funny because a few months later, I would start to wrestle, and my teacher would bring me as his manager so I could learn how to work with the crowd. And same thing happened. We went to Drummondville, and he's like, we got to park the car at the back. I'm like, why? He's like, because they're going to, they're going to destroy the car and the tires, and we won't be able to leave. I'm like, what? And I was heel, so I got called like, are you fucking slapped in the whatever? And here I was like 17 years old. Oh, like,
just got in the business, just started training and hearing all that stuff. Wow.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, the greatest stuff that you hear as a wrestler. Yep.
It's great way to be introduced to indie wrestling and be right on the fire where things are happening.
But you got thick skin quick.
Honestly, like my very first appearance, there was a drunk woman in the crowd, and here I was like cheating with a cane. I don't know how I got a cane, but I had a cane, and she jumped on me. She's like, "Do not." The name of the guy was like Veillette, and he's like, "Do not touch my little Veillette. Do not touch my little." And I was like, It's like I was like, okay, that's what I have to deal with.
Yes.
And I stayed. What an idiot.
There's something about the love of wrestling, man. We all stay, watch it, whatever.
The struggle is real.
We all love it.
The struggle is real.
I love it.
Look what Desha put. Yeah, there's always a drunk woman at it.
There's a lot of drunks.
Or the guys taking their shirts off and wanting to fight. There's always that too. At least especially in America, in the deep South in the United States, there's always a guy that takes his shirt off during the show, and I'm sure it's that way everywhere.
I have pictures of that. Like, there's a fan. It was like there's always that one guy who removes his shirts for whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Why is this guy everywhere?
Absolutely. Real quick, guys. For everybody watching, first of all, thank you all for tuning in. If you all got questions for LuFisto in the midst of the conversation, drop it in the chat, and we will get to it within the conversation. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joy.
Okay. So let's
put all the pressure on you, man.
So tell us about how you trained, like what the setup was like when you walked in there the first time, because that always is interesting to hear.
Like we like I said, the guys I was hanging out with, there's like one of them, Luke, comes to me, he's like, there's local wrestlers, they're opening up like a wrestling school, and they're doing the wrestling where it was not really backyard wrestling, but we would rent a boxing ring sometimes on the weekend. And we would pretend wrestling. There's actually VHS of that somewhere. I have that somewhere. And we would just it was just like funny characters, things like nothing about no Mick Foley things where we jump out of, up of a house into mats or whatever. No, it was just
do that
character thing. Like I had a character that was like a a funny version of Sunny called Bunny for like stupid.
Yeah.
And of course, I was also the Undertaker. I made my own Undertaker gear. Like,
Wow.
I didn't know how to sew, but I did it by hand. Wow. Anyway, and so he's like, it's at the same school, like the boxing school. I'm like, cool. So we get there, and of course, it's a boxing ring. When you're playing wrestling, you don't really see the difference. When you start bumping on a boxing ring,
I was going to ask about
it's
that.
like there's no give. So it's like, so they were like, just make sure you breathe. Just make sure you breathe. And the ropes were a little loose too, but they were actually pretty good ropes from what I remember compared to other boxing ring I've seen.
Oh yeah, no give at
but
all.
Yeah, they had us like stretching on the floor first and kind of rolling on the floor too, because we had to show how tough we were. That's the way it was back in the day.
Yeah.
And we would go in the ring, and then the ring is like, oh well, the floor felt better. So
Yeah.
pretty much
Boxing ring.
And what, like, my first bump I remember was almost perfect, and my teacher was like, oh shit, okay. So I've learned like really quickly, and I was the only girl too, so I wanted to prove that I could do it. And I was like, do you want to try this move? I was like, me first. It's like, I wanted to prove everybody I could do it, because everyone was like, oh, you sure it's for you? It's, not for girls or whatever. And you're small. I'm 5'1". And I've played baseball before. And my stepfather was like, here you are playing, like being in a guy's sports again. Can't you like do like figure skating or whatever? They tried that when I was very young, and I left after an hour. I was like, that's for pussies. That's literally what I said. I was about 4 years old. My mom was like, I paid for classes for nothing.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. And just went, real the school closed for, I think there was like a problem with the boxing schedule. So we were a few months off, and then it reopened again. I guess they figure it out. And almost as soon as I went back, so there's like, we found a girl to wrestle, because back then, like, girls versus guys was not a thing. I would train with guys, but in front of a public, that was like a no-no. And so like 3 months in, they're like, oh, you'll have a match, so you need to figure it out. I'm like, so yeah, I was like, it's not the best way to start, because I feel like I wasn't ready. But looking at my first match, I'm like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
You've seen worse now that you've trained people.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse. But like, even like for me, I figure like it took me a while to figure out everything wrestling, because back then, like, it was more about how tough you were. So they wouldn't show you all the secrets, everything about psychology, how you tell a story in the match. Like, you would get the shit beat out of, and then they would give you a little, and then a little, and then when you would work somebody better, you would learn. It was a very slow process compared to today, where I go see wrestling school and they already know about the shine, the cutoff, the heat. I was like, I had to learn listening to other people. I was like, what is that? It's like,
Okay. That's
so,
nice.
Oh no, go ahead. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, now that you're, you're bumping around, you're getting the feel for everything. I want to know who's your first trainer and where.
Oh, it was in my hometown of Sorel, like in Quebec. Sorel's about an hour away from Montreal, just to give you an idea. Smaller town, but still busy town, steel towns, a lot of steel workers. And their name was Pierre Marchessault. These are all very French names besides one. So Yves Miette, Eric Laroche, and Patrick Lewis, which he spoke English too, a little bit. And very local wrestlers, not big names, but they taught me the basics really good. And I would say one of the, if you know a little bit about international wrestling, I would say the first person who really took interest in training me and wanting to push me was Len Kojak Shelley. He was a
The
worker
name
at
sounds familiar.
yeah, and he
Yeah.
passed not too long ago, indeed.
Yeah.
And he was training his son Eric. Eric was actually, he did the first matches for WWF when they had the cruiserweight title, like the first cruiserweight title, which I think Taka Michinoku won. There was a tournament and Eric was in that tournament. So I would train with him, and he's like, because one day I was training with one girl and it was very repetitive because I would always train and wrestle the same girl. And he's like, you look bored, and it's like people think you're giving attitude, but I see you want to push and you want to, because I was watching Japanese wrestling. So because as much as I love The Undertaker, at the same time there was Bull Nakano versus Alundra Blaze. So through the magic of tape trading, I discovered All Japan Woman, Gaia. So that was like my ideal, and I really love Akira Okudo as well. So that was my ideal of female wrestling. So when they would say like, "Oh, you got to work the hair and whatever," I was like, "No, that's not what I want to do." And I would get a lot of heat because like girls don't wrestle like that, and I would get the beat up at training or whatever by guys who didn't want different times. And
just real quick, just put in a date because we're gonna walk. This is about 1990.
This is about like 98, 99.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
So I was 18.
That's
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Just put that in the context in regards to women's wrestling. So because that's gonna be a theme of the show. We got first question. First match age. Guess who?
First match was June 20th, 1997. I was 17, and it was against a girl, Sophie the Queen.
Okay.
Sophie the Queen.
Is she still working, by the way?
City. I'm sorry?
Is she still working?
Oh, no. She quit not too long after we had like 4 matches together, and then she was gone. Right. So I was back to being the only woman. And then I found another one.
There you go.
Oh, it was so hard.
We talked about this before. In every area, it was that way at that time too. Like you were like, I remember I booked a show one time, and we had a women's match on there. And last minute, one of the women was like, "Oh, I have a college exam I can't get out of," and we're like,
"We gotta find one from another territory," because we were all like spread like so far.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, and so. Where you were at was indie wrestling was there a lot of shows at that time too? Because I know where I was at in the late 90s, it was, I mean, wrestling was mega hot.
In Montreal, there was like, and I would say Montreal and around, there was like there was a few promotions that were running, NCW, ICW, WTA, I think. So about like in RWR where I was wrestling, there was about like, just in the Montreal area-ish, there was about like 4 or 5, and they were running every Saturdays, and like it was every weekend. So it was like busy.
Yeah, wow. When was your first experience leaving Quebec to wrestle?
That would be for Ontario, or was it? I think so. Yeah. So that was Ontario, and I think I wrestled the guy. Is it the first time? I'm not even sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So I think it was in Ontario in 98, and of course there was no women. So there was one promoter there was like, I've seen you work. I think you can work a guy. Like I have a student that has more of a funny gimmick, but he's cool wrestling girls. So I was like, whatever, it's fine. What I didn't know is that he was a champion. He was a cruiserweight champion, So I go there, and then I went over. So I won my first male championship when I was 18 in 1998, which was like I don't know if there was I hadn't seen it probably somewhere else in another territory, but yeah.
Nice. Now that you wrestled that first match against a guy, how did that make you feel amongst your peers? I guess you could say.
It wasn't really well for me. It was like that's where I kind of saw. I was like, okay, wrestling somebody better than me will make me better because I can do more stuff. He can do more stuff, and I learned a lot more because I'm in the middle of the ring, and I have to do good. So I have to listen. I have to follow. So I was like, I need to wrestle people who are more experienced than me, and of course, there was no women who could, did have the criterias. So I went back and I really started to push to wrestle the guys because it's like I wanna be better. I know I can do it. And back then, I was getting a lot of he's like, oh, she thinks she's better than us. And if you think we're gonna get beat up by a woman that's like 5 foot, I've always been bulky too. So it's like some of the guys, I was like, put me against the cruiserweights. I'm bigger than them. Oh no, you can't do that. We're gonna look weak. So there were some guys who didn't want to work me, and some of the guys didn't care. The one who didn't care, it was going super good, and the other ones, they were either stretching me or there's matches I would start, they would punch me right on the nose. My nose was broken 9 times, and a lot of it was from the beginnings because they would just she's not gonna get up, and then they would break my nose, and I would get up and I would fight back. And I would actually punch them. So I would fight back. It's like, no, you're not going to do this with me. I was very stubborn. So, I had the reputation of being difficult to work with and oh, she thinks she's better than us. But it was all I can't be better if I can work with someone who can teach me how to be better. Right. So it had mixed reactions. The people who understood why I was doing it, they were keep going, you have this and you're good and you can do it. But they most of the matches I would go home and cry because it's like, why am I doing this? Why did I don't get it? It's but being stubborn and wanting to prove people wrong was just the motivation I needed to just keep going. And
absolutely. Definitely having battles in the ring and battles outside the ring, especially with the government. Talk to us about that and whatnot. It's
you did mention Ontario and wrestling a guy, so we have to talk about that.
Of course. We got to. So I had been wrestling guys for a while. I had a few championships, and I started to do hardcore wrestling as well because obviously they told me it was not for women. So I was like, fuck you, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Started to do hardcore.
We're going to dive into that too, definitely.
It's really the title of my biography. I'll prove you wrong, or I'll show you, or whatever. Yeah. Stupid or courage, a little bit of both. Sure. So I was wrestling and doing hardcore, and I was wrestling a lot of shows for the Hardcore Wrestling Federation, who was one of the biggest indie promotions in Ontario at this point. And one day, I was booked on another show for, I think it was called Ring and Ears or something. So we had a table death match, and it was a tag team match. And I was, of course, the only girl. And somebody called the commission because there was an Ontario Athletic Commission. They called them, filed a complaint that a woman was in the ring with men. And there was an actual law that stated women and men cannot be in the ring at the same time in fighting, sports or something like that. And I think it was from 1924. It was a very old law. So the promoter called me. He's like, I have to unbook you because if I go through with this idea, they're gonna charge me a fine. I'm gonna lose my license. It was like terrible, the consequences. So I was like, dude, like it's fine, I understand, but I was like, how the hell can you stop me from doing something because I'm a woman, because of my gender? And Toronto is known for movie productions. So you have like stunt women or stuff like they're literally doing what I'm doing, but they have take one, take two, and they can reshoot stuff. I'm doing it live and I can't fuck up. But it's the same thing. So I called the Ontario Human Rights and I explained the situation, and she's like, "Oh, you got a case." I'm like, "Okay, fine. I'm going." It's like, "Do you want to sue them?" I'm like, "Yep." It's like, "Well, we got you. Like, we're gonna fight for you." So it was 4 long years of paperwork, back and forth, phone calls when calling in Ontario was damn expensive. Like you can call collect or take your cell phone and it's everywhere in Canada free. That was not the way it was working. So lots of money on that. At least I didn't have to pay for a lawyer because the human rights were fighting for me. So they would actually go to court for me and let me know how it went, and they would fight with the commission. And after 4 years, I finally got the phone where, well, you won. We took him down. And they're like, you'll be able to wrestle soon. You're going to receive a letter that says so. And from now on, all the women who wants to wrestle against any opponent of their choosing, it's their right to choose. And they can't say anything about it. So yeah, that was done. The law was changed. And because of all the bad press they had from it, the whole wrestling part of the athletic commission was shut down. So no more big fees for insurances, licenses. Every wrestler needed a license every year. The promoters, like, it was hard to run a promotion in Ontario because the fees were like ridiculous. And if something would happen, like, it was even worse. So that way it opened up like so many doors for people to actually bring indie wrestling in Ontario. And a lot of people, like, I even have a discussion with Mark from C4 Wrestling, which is a great promotion from Canada. And he's like, C4 would not exist if it wasn't from you, because there's no way we could afford everything. Especially at the beginning to start as a promoter. I know I'm doing it myself right now. It's hard because you got to find investors and sponsors, and you got to buy stuff. You got to rent a ring when you begin, and then you need your own ring, and it never stops. It's like a constant investment. And if you have on top of it for licenses, and they would not provide anything. There was nobody was on site if somebody would get injured. Like there was absolutely no benefit in having a commission. Like when I worked in Pennsylvania, there was a commission, but there was a doctor, at every show. Something happened. We had someone to help with the injuries or whatever. There was a service that was provided, but not in Ontario.
Wow.
It's like nothing. The only thing, like, the commissioner once in a while would come and see if all the wrestlers had their license and would give them fine if not. So good riddance.
So going back into your career too, your early career, a lot of us know about your history at CZW. When did you first catch the eye of companies like that, especially in the States? Because CZW kind of rose out of the ashes of ECW, and that's kind of the phoenix that rose out of that. When did you start catching the attention of promotions like that and getting brought into the States?
I was wrestling for IWS in Montreal, International Wrestling Syndicate. And I was doing the hardcore, and I was doing like whatever CCW was doing, I was doing in Montreal with IWS. And some of the guys from IWS were starting to go down, down to Philadelphia, like Sexy Eddie. There was also Kevin Steen, El Generico, Frankie the Mobster. And so they were going like more and more. And I was teaming up with Eddie at IWS, and I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but I think somebody went to Eddie's and somebody asked, like, is it true there's a girl in Montreal that does hardcore? And like, yeah, she's my partner. And from there, like, I jumped in the car, ended up at CZW.
Yeah.
And they set up like a thing where a match where it was me and Eddie versus Adam Flash and Pandora. Pandora was like a manager, very limited in wrestling, but they didn't want to. I guess it was more of a test to see how it worked. And when I wrestled and I crossed, I remember vividly, like I did my match and I go backstage, cross the curtain, and I see John Zandig there like this. And I'm like, and I look at it, I was like, oh shit, I sucked. I was like, oh, I stunk up the place. It was like, and he's like, I get it, kid. And I was like, he's like, you're good. And he left. And I was like, okay, that's it. But I've always had a fear of like being bad. And it was like,
nice.
Because like I said before, when I was proud of myself and I was doing all those matches up in Quebec, like, I was a piece of shit. And that, like, so I was like, oh, did I do it? Like, I had that bad fucking thing going on where I was like always afraid to be bad in the ring or do too much or whatever. And now it's from that match, he's like, okay, you're going against the guys. And like, I ended up Iron Man champion within a few.
Speaking of that, that's the next thing we got to talk about, because that I saw an interview from before Steen got signed with WWE where he was talking about you.
Oh yeah, he's telling the story perfectly too.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. Was it accurate?
It's accurate.
Because he tells a story of they were trying to figure out who he was going to drop the belt to, and he saw you walk by, and he was like, put it on her.
Yeah, and that big one. And it's like, and it's like,
told him he loved
didn't think about it, but then he's like, yeah, why not? And I was like, what? I was like, no. I was like, oh, pressure. But that's literally how Kevin tells the story. That's pretty much how it happened. And from that moment, like, Zandig had like total like he was like, you go, kid. Like, he kept calling me kid. As like, you got it, kid. You're good, kid. And one day it ended up like, how about being in the cage? I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. And then the next show, which is Cage of Death, I'm in that 6-man tag and I do my match. And everything goes good. And like, I wrestle B-Boy and it's really cool. So I go backstage and Zandig is there standing. He's like, ready for the cage, kid? I'm like, what? He's like, you're going in the cage. I'm like, what? Like, I don't have gear to go in a cage of death. I'm like, here I am with my like anime dresses that I just bought. I'm like, oh shit. So that's why I'm wearing like a CZW shirts and shorts. I was not expecting to go in that cage. He's like, yeah, you take the mic and you get yourself in. I was like, okay, boss. And then it happened.
You got to tell us about that, about the match with the famous King of the Death match, tournament match with Necro Butcher too.
Oh my God, yeah. Every single hit in that match is real. He hit me so hard, and then I was like, motherfucker, and then I would hit his like.
Oh, he looked dazed. He looked beat up. So I know you gave it to him. So
yeah, but it's like, and it's cool because like, I was beat. I mean, it's cool. I was beat up. I was so beat up. There's a picture of me where he punches me on the face so hard, my face is shifting, and you can't even recognize me. It looks like a fake picture, but it's real.
Jeez.
And I hit him so hard, like we were doing that bar fight spot. and I hit him so hard on the cheek that my hand broke and his bone broke as well. And I saw, like, my hand was broken the week after, and I saw him. He's like, "Oh, I'm fine." It's like, no, man. I was like, but yeah, no, Necro's always been cool. And it was a challenge to wrestle him, but I did my best.
He legit made you work for that win. I can say there was no laying down in that match. There was that was not the case. So
that open chair, like sidewalk slam. Kids, do not do this. Don't.
Now, one question I definitely wanted to ask you was the Cage of Death matches and everything. As we all know, there's different genres to professional wrestling. Death match death match is truly one of the most gruesome ones. Whatnot. It's like it truly takes a very special person to participate in that. For someone watching deathmatch for the very first time, you say what to them?
Well, first of all, deathmatch is not for everybody. Yeah. It's a specific niche genre, and it's not like the usual wrestling fan will probably not be into deathmatch wrestling. And if you do death matches, you have to understand that. The good thing, though, about death matches fans is they're the most lovable people out there. They respect what you do so much to the point where, like, I stopped doing death matches for years, and then in 2023, Danny from ICW No Holds Bar asked me, he's like, "Hey, come on, one more time with Mickey Knuckles." I was like, "Oh, I'll just do like." He's like, "You can use just weapons and stuff." And I got there and I saw the glass and I saw the light tube. Like, fuck it. It's like I'm doing all that stuff again. And fans were giving me tips. Thank you for putting your body on the line for us. We appreciate. And the matches were great because I've always believed that even if it's a hardcore match, if it's a death match, it needs to have a story in it. There's a heel, there's a baby face, there's a shine, there's a heat, there's a go home sequence. I like to set up the matches, so they make sense and they tell a story. Now, maybe the first death matches I did, or a few of them were not even close to there. But I mean, I've learned, it's a good death match is you wrestle with weapons. You do your usual moves, but you had a little something. So you can still get the fans into it and create that roller coaster of emotion throughout the match, even if it's like, the last matches I did too, like I was bloody to the point where I was proud. I was like, "Oh, old woman still has it." It's like, who has the most blood, eh? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that girl.
It's crazy. Like I went to my first one. I want to say that it was like 2018, 2019. I would see Masada do
the skewers.
I was like, oh gosh. Then I got to the whole thing with the light tubes, the nail beds. I like.
There's some things I don't like that much, like the bed of nails, or barbed wire is cool, or like I've never played with fire too, because I like my chaos to be controlled, and I feel like I could not control fire. You're never sure how it's gonna react. Everybody says like, "Oh, once you bump, it's gonna go away." It's like, oh, I've seen times where it didn't.
It's not what Spike Dudley said.
Fire. I was like, no. So I still have. I like to have a little bit of as much control as I can in an uncontrolled and chaotic environment.
So tell us about. Oh, go ahead. What are you
No,
getting at?
go ahead, because I was just going to get to some of the questions from the audience. But go ahead, Joey.
Yeah.
Tell us about when you first heard about Shimmer Women Athletes. Tell us about the upstart of that, because you were in the ground floor of that thing and stuff. So
that's funny. It's actually a funny story for Shimmer, because back then we had the message boards. It was not Twitter or Facebook. It was the message boards. And me being the CZW girl and, doing death matches. And the funny thing is, like, I was doing, I think, I've always done more regular wrestling matches than death match. But everybody would talk about the girl doing death matches because we were like two back then. It was me and Mickey Knuckles. So when I got announced for Shimmer, oh my God, the hate I had online on those boards. You're bringing a garbage wrestler to a fine product of wrestling and stuff, like so much hate. I was like, oh, that's wonderful. And I remember, like, I arrived and I was like, I felt like really small, but I was like, I wrestle more like the regular style. So my first match was on Volume 7 against Mercedes Martinez.
Yes.
And I remember we go there and I go to the ring and a little bit of clapping. People were silent. And then the more the match went and people like loud. And after we had a standing ovation. And it was like, I was like, I lost that match and I was like, yes.
Still won. You went over with the fans.
I did it. And a lot of people came to me to see me at the merchandise table. It's like, we didn't know you could wrestle like that. So, and I was fine from that moment on at Shimmer.
Yeah, because that was like a lot of people's introduction to see you in a more technical style with the technical wrestling. There was a lot of that in Shimmer. So to get to see that, and that's one thing I loved about that company, was seeing that emphasize the wrestling. And that's why, when we've heard you talk about it in your speeches in Hall of Fame, stuff like that, it's really important to know that long before we got this evolution on TV,
oh my God,
Shimmer Women Athletes is where we started seeing the women's wrestling that you got to watch in Japan start to make its way to America. And that vision that all of you kind of brought together, the talent, Dave Prazak, everybody kind of came together to see, like, wait, you really can do anything any guy can do, and sometimes a lot better. And a lot of what we saw in Shimmer.
Yeah, like the women's revolution started on the indies. It was one girl in Australia, one in one in England, and there was one Canadian that went to the United States. And then all these girls got together, and then Shimmer, and
and we got exposed to like what it could be, and what it would eventually start to become. Not, I will not say TV wrestling has caught up with all of it yet, but it hopefully eventually will.
But looking at evolution this past weekend, I was like, yeah, that represents the women wrestling I want to see. I was I mean, there's always work to do. Wrestling evolves nonstop, and you can't stop evolve with it. You need to keep going. So, but when I watched the pay-per-view, I was like, that's, when I was a fan, that's the kind of stuff I would have want to see. So,
and for you, tell us about you getting into Lucha and getting booked in AAA and down in Mexico and stuff like that. How did you make your way down there?
Hardcore brought me to Mexico because Luciano from Lucha Libre Femenil sent me a message. He's like, I want to bring that style here, and I want a girl to show the other girl how it's done. And there's one here. She's really willing. She wants to do it. That was Princesa Suge. And he brought me down to bring the hardcore style and made a title just for hardcore women in this promotion. So that's how I started in Mexico. And at the beginning, I mean, from 2003 to 2005, I think I was in Mexico like every 2 months. Like I was there often. Wow. Yeah, I was there often. And then AAA came in later, where I got the opportunity to work with Conan. Love working with Conan, so professional, and through the Lucha, that's very chaotic, very like all over the place. Like he would put stuff together so they would make sense as much as they can in Lucha. And
right.
once he told me like, it's Lucha, people don't care. So I was like, okay. I thought it was.
I got an off the wall question for you. When we gonna be able to buy your action figure?
Oh, some people made action figures just for fun, but I've never had one. Actually, there's one. Did you see it here?
Hold on, let me zoom in on you.
Yes, I see what you're talking about.
Okay, yes,
right here.
Yes,
yeah, that's an action figure that actually was made from a fan in Mexico. That's me in my Wolverine outfit before everybody had a Wolverine outfit.
Now, if you don't mind, can we get an upgrade?
There's no action figure. I'm not. I wasn't big enough to have my own.
If you don't mind, can we get an up close look at that? If you don't mind,
he wants to see it more up close, but
yeah, he's a figure geek, so
Tell us about you. Obviously, 8 Hall of Fames, professional wrestling Hall of Fames, but you were in the first class of GCW producing this Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame, and you were amongst a incredible, legendary group. Tell us about that call and getting the call to go to that, and how that hit you and made you feel.
I remember like it was actually on Facebook. Brett Lauderdale sent me a message, and he's like, "Can you come to the States?" I'm like, yes, I can. I did not have like a working visa at that time, but I was like, I can come to the States. Like, I mean, I'm not banned. I'm not like, I can go as much as I want. Like, I can do whatever. And he's like, because I'd like you to come to the Hall of Fame because we have to induct you. I was like, excuse me. And I remember I was at work and I started like, and I call my boyfriend. I'm like, because we started seeing like the announcement for the Indie Hall of Fame, and I was like, Brett just called me. He wants me in New York that day, and I was like, oh my god, like I need to address. Like no, I wasn't expecting it, and being the first female. First Canadian as well. Like it was,
and in the first class.
Yeah,
the first ever class of the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame.
With Ruckus, that I've so many like CZW memories. Like I had a feud with Blackout, so that was kind of cool that he was there too. And Tracy Smothers, like what a nice man, like one of the nicest men I've worked with and hanged out with in the locker room, and funny. And oh my god, like I have so many good memories of Tracy. He was an angel, like, and a little devil at the same time. He was so good. I love
he never had an ego. Like that guy never had any of that, and never let any of that go to his head. He was I agree.
So nice. Like he would help everybody backstage, and if you were shy to go to him, he would see you and he was like and he would tell you, I fought your match and stuff. It's like, oh, you did? It's like so cool.
Jeez. Nice. So I mean, like that had to feel good because you start looking at around the names that are getting called to this thing, and you're like, it has to make you question, like me, like I'm going in.
Yeah, it was like me, and I get there, and like a few people have arrived, and I opened the door, and here's CM Punk eating a burrito, and I was like, I'm sorry because I didn't want to disturb him while he was having dinner. I was like, and he's like, he puts his burrito down and comes to shake my hands and stuff. And I remember you from the ROH in Montreal. I was like, oh, that was so cool. Like he was like, he's always been super nice to me, and it's like, everything that night was like just awesome. It was crazy because my boyfriend and I were sitting with X-Pac and his wife. So that was so cool. It's see how I said like I began really watching 94 and stuff. So that's the time of the Stone Cold Steve
Yeah.
Austin. And I even saw X-Pac's return because I was there live in Syracuse that night. So it was like, I'm sitting with X-Pac now, and what a lovely man, and like his
Seriously.
lovely wife and stuff. It's like unreal.
Nice.
I love it. I
Wow.
love it. We're almost up against it. But we do want to take a couple questions. But to kind of put the full circles thing, Women's Wrestling Syndicate. Talk to us about that.
Well, that's my little project. So there's not a lot of full women wrestling promotion. Shine is still running here and there. Missy Sampson has her own in the Philly area, but in Canada and stuff, I wanted to bring something where women would be in charge of everything. So Women's Wrestling Syndicate, we have female wrestlers, female referee, female announcers, interviewer, and everybody working in the back, the agents, all women as well.
Wow.
It's me. It's my first student, Sweet Cherry. My right hand man, and one of my best friend. Her name is Karine, but she used to work as Betty Rage, the woman of mass destruction. She's into she used to be in bodybuilding, and was also in powerlifting. Still is.
Wow.
She's a champion. She's a world champion. Won medals in Barcelona and stuff. So it's all like a core of strong women together.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's tough because we're just starting, but just go on their YouTube page. The fans have fun. We let them stand up and go and tap on the mat. I want it to be like a rock concert kind of vibe when you go to the front and you slap in the hand of your favorite singer. And it's getting bigger slowly. We're getting more and more subscribers, and I just want to bring that something different. So I teach the girls how to set up their matches. I work as an agent also backstage, and I tell them what story I want them to tell during their matches. I have women of all sizes, all different levels of experience. I really want to present women's wrestling as what it is, a mix of cultures and sizes and experience. And it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and I hope the fans are going to show up more and more and more to our shows. And watch your stuff online. We're having fun. I edit everything myself. I'm the graphic designer too. I do everything. So actually,
make sure if you're out there, you got to subscribe. So you're watching this right now. Go right now and subscribe. Stop what you're doing. No, finish the show, but then go.
Absolutely. We're gonna finish up with some questions from the audience. We're gonna try to knock these out rapid fire style. Mendoza Craft, LuFisto, what's the meaning behind the name?
I used to be known as Precious Lucy, a name that Jacques Rougeau gave me. I hated it. But when I went to Japan, they asked me to change my name because Precious was really hard to pronounce. So I took Lou from Lucy, and Fisto comes from actually two characters, which is Macfisto from Batman and Jedi Fisto from Star Wars, because I'm a big Star Wars fan. And here's my Ewok.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Any run-in with the Hart family?
With the Hart family, I had the pleasure to meet Owen Hart a few times and talk to him. And my friend Luke, I was talking about, he's now a journalist doing great. And he had interviews with Owen, and I was his photographer. And I had the chance to have a few discussions with Owen where he gave me tips and advices about how to be a good wrestler. So I do cherish those moments. I also met Brett, very nice man too. So, and I trained with Bruce Hart. So I did seminars with Bruce as well. So yeah.
Nice. Favorite match?
There's many. I would say versus Josh Alexander versus Asuka. Anything with Mercedes Martinez. Love.
Yeah.
My match with Sue Young at Shine. Yeah. Kimberly's always been one of my favorite too. So yeah.
Okay. Ever had anyone that you didn't like wrestling at first but ended up enjoying?
You didn't like at anyone that you didn't like wrestling?
Think on that one. Think on that one.
I mean, there's at first when I read the question, I'm like, any wrestlers you didn't like at first but you like now? I was like, yeah, Sheamus. I hated Sheamus, but now he beats the shit out of everybody, so I love Sheamus.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure I got all of them. And Platinum Swords. We'll go ahead and finish it up. How does it feel to be serious? Only support when it comes to Dominus IC title run. Thank you.
Come on, gotta support Dirty Dom, future world champion.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Oh my God. This has been absolutely amazing. LuFisto,
yes.
You are a gem. I'm glad that we had this time so we can hear your story, we can hear your journey, we can hear your trials and tribulations in the wrestling business, whatnot, for laying the groundwork for a lot of what we are seeing today. So from this wrestling fan, I say thank you very much, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you guys for having me. That was fun. Dumb number one.
Put Mesh's comment up there. Dom sucks. He's doing his job if you said that. So he's doing his job.
The man is getting booed like nobody else.
I'm just saying.
He is too. I will say. I went to one show on SmackDown a couple of years ago. Them boos was so loud.
You can't talk.
I couldn't hit my ears. You know your ears be ringing when they cheering. Them when they were booing him, oh my God, my ears were ringing. Them boos were so loud.
That kid got trial by fire. Let's be honest.
Did you ever think that he would become that? Like from his first matches with his father, with that full suit.
Yeah.
He looked like a lost kid out there. He just looked lost out in the ring all the time. Trial by fire. He got it.
Yeah, real quick, LuFisto. But it's like for a heel to get that reaction, you can't pay enough to get that level of a reaction.
The thing is, people hate him so much that they actually love him, because when he won the Intercontinental Championship, people were like ecstatic. They're like, it's the only time they're gonna cheer for them, but they are.
They didn't see it coming though. They gave him something they didn't see coming. So
true.
All right.
That was absolutely. Oh, Nesh, of course you got to bring it home. Or he really is Eddie's son now. I'm just saying.
Oh God!
I love it.
Can we let that go?
He looks like him. Just saying.
I mean, I did see the shirt that's kind of like it. I'm just saying. Back in the day, I'm just saying. We thank everybody for tuning in this week with our very special guest LuFisto, who definitely graced us and blessed us with her appearance tonight. Thanks again, LuFisto. We definitely appreciate it. And as always, we ask you to continue what we're doing here at Bells and Blitz each and every week. You keep coming, we can keep bringing to you. So for LuFisto, Joey, and Man Up, I'm your boy Cedric D, and we will see you guys here next week here on Bells and Belts.
Yeah.